Yo, as a football shirt collector, I want my football shirts to be in the best possible condition. But what if I told you that determining the condition of a football shirt is actually quite complicated? I mean, there are so many things you have to take into account when determining the condition of a football shirt. In this video, I'm going to explain you all the things you should take into account when determining the condition of a football shirt. And of course, everyone has a different standard when it comes to the condition of football shirts. Things I'm going to share with you in this video are going to be based on my experience of 7 years of football shirt collecting. Without further ado, let's get into the video. For your information, I'm going to divide this video into two parts. Part 1 is going to be about the outside of the shirt, and part 2 is going to be about the inside of the shirt. Alright, we're going to start off with the condition of the shirt, just looking at the outside of the shirt. I would also like to call this the first impression or condition at the first sight. I'm coming up with words that don't even exist. Don't mind me, guys. If you're just looking at a football shirt from the outside, you want to make sure that the sponsor and logos are not damaged. In most cases, the logos of a shirt are embroidered when it comes to fans version shirts and heat pressed onto the shirt when it comes to player version shirts. In general, embroidered logos are way more solid than heat pressed logos. So I'm gonna give you an example. This is the FC Barcelona 1920 home shirt. It's the fans version, so it means that the logos are embroidered. And if I take a look at the logos of the shirt, I can see that they're in good condition because they don't have any loose seams or other damaged parts. Over here, I got the FC Barcelona 21-22 home shirt in player version, so the logos are heat pressed onto the shirt. And if I'm checking the condition of the logos on a shirt like this, I just want to make sure that the logo is still glued onto the shirt. Getting back to the sponsors on football shirt, those are actually kind of fragile if you don't wash your football shirts correctly. If you wear one specific football shirt a lot, the sponsor is very likely to peel off the shirt, and this does not look so good in my opinion. But if you take care of your football shirts, the sponsors on your shirts are probably not damaged. But there's actually more to this, because a sponsor on a shirt like this looks actually perfect at first sight. But if we take a closer look, we can see a small crack in the A of the Core Limitless sponsor. I don't really mind because it's barely visible, but this is definitely something you should take into account when buying secondhand football shirts. This means that a damaged sponsor on a football shirt doesn't always have to be very obvious. Some sponsors, like on my shirts, may have some minor cracks or damages that are barely visible at the first sight. Next thing I want to talk about are patches, because patches can get damaged as well if you wash your football shirt a lot. For example, sometimes a patch can be a bit loose, but it doesn't have to be damaged per se. I made a tutorial about how you can fix problems like this. Click over here if I'm right. But if a patch is damaged for real, so not loose, it looks a bit washed out or worn out. For example, on this Juventus 15-16 third kit, it may not be visible at the first sight, but if you look closely, especially the respect patch has some minor damages over here. And yes, of course, those are tiny details, but they kind of give away how much a football shirt has been worn and what its condition is. Just remember, as long as your patch still looks good and it's not worn out, you're fine. Another good indicator of the condition of a football shirt are the seams, because they're one of the most fragile parts of football shirt. At first sight, this AC Milan shirt seems to be in perfect condition. But if we look closely to the lower part of the shirt, we can see that there's a part of the seams missing. Same over here. You can just see a small loose seam, which is a very good indication that the shirt has been worn. If you're buying football shirts online, it's actually quite hard to determine whether the seams are in good condition because they're not always visible on images. But if you're not sure, just ask for another picture of the seams. Another very common type of damage on football shirts are pulls. You'll especially find them on older shirts like vintage shirts, retro shirts, and so on and so forth, and shirts that have been worn a lot. I got a very good example of a football shirt with some pulls over here. It's the FC Barcelona 2008-2009 home shirt, and as you can see, we got some pulls here on the right sleeve and just above the logo. In general, holes are not really a problem because they're quite common. But something that really is a problem are holes. You should avoid football shirts with holes at any cost because they look horrible. I got a very good example of a football shirt with holes. It's this FC Barcelona 10-11 home shirt. At the first sight, it might look okay, but let's zoom in a bit. We got hole number 1 right over here, just above the UNICEF sponsor. We got number 2 right over here, and on the back of the shirt, we got a bigger one. The funny thing was that I bought the shirt from a guy in Spain and he told me it was in perfect condition. Upon receiving the shirt, I quickly realized that all these holes were in the shirt and I got my money back. I got a full refund and he didn't even want the shirt back. So in this case, it didn't have any negative consequences for me, but I just want to tell you that you should always ask the seller if the shirt has got any holes in it, because that's something you really should avoid. Another type of damage or inconvenience are spots, because spots can be quite visible on football shirts. Unfortunately, I got a very good example. This Real Madrid 13-14 home shirt. It's absolutely beautiful, but we got 2 spots right over here and they're so visible on an all white shirt. The guy I bought the shirt from told me that the shirt had some spots. I told him that I didn't care because I think I can fix this myself. I'll make a video about it. And you know, some stains are more visible than other stains. This also has to do with the main color of the shirt. I'm going to show you a good example. This is Real Madrid 17-18 third shirt, and we've got a very tiny stain right over here, which is barely visible. I still think I can get rid of it, but it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. The last indication of the condition of a football shirt that can be visible at first sight are name sets. And of course, there's a big difference between a loose name set or a part of a name set that's loose and a damaged name set with a missing part. Because like patches, you can just fix loose name sets yourself. If you want to buy a football shirt with a damaged name set where part of the name or number is missing, you can always try to repair the shirt yourself, but this isn't easy, so I would actually dissuade you from buying those type of shirts. But there can also be stains on name set, which is a bit inconvenient because in general they're very hard to get rid of. I'm going to show you an example. I got this Real Madrid shirt with Bill on the back, but the Bill name set actually has got some stains, decolorations, how should I even call it? And it doesn't even look too bad. It's not even visible from distance, but it's something you can clearly see, in my opinion. I'm still trying to find a solution for this one, but as soon as I found one, I'll make a video about how to fix this type of name sets. All right, part 2 of this video is gonna be about the inside of a shirt. And this is actually a bit more advanced because you can't always see the inside of a shirt on an image. The first thing that tells a lot about the condition of your football shirt is the sizing label. If it's still perfectly visible and not damaged at all, it's likely that your shirt is in a good condition, or well, that your shirt has not been worn a lot. A good example is the shirt I just showed you before in this video. Over here we can see that the sizing label is perfectly visible, no damage at all, even though there's a tiny stain on the shirt. Another shirt I showed you in this video was this Real Madrid shirt. And if we take a look at the sizing label, we can see that it is a bit damaged. There are also some decolorations on the sizing label, so that's a good indication to me that this shirt has been worn quite a lot. For your info, I'm not the first owner of this shirt, but judging from what I'm seeing, the sizing label right over here, I can tell you that this shirt has been worn a lot. Another example of a shirt that has been worn a lot is actually the shirt with the holes in it, this FC Barcelona shirt I showed you before as well. And if we take a look at the sizing label, it's completely gone. It's completely washed out. And like I said before, the combination of this sizing label and the holes in the shirt tells me that this shirt has been worn a lot. Or the previous owners of the shirt did some crazy celebrations in the shirt, because it's kind of hard to get a hole in your football shirt like this. The second thing you should take into account are the labels inside the shirt. For this example, I'm going to use a Nike shirt because Nike has some big labels inside the shirt that will perfectly tell you whether the shirt has been worn a lot or not. If we take a look at the labels of this FC Barcelona 21-22 home shirt, we can see that they're still in perfect condition. So no creases, no damages. They don't look all washed out. They just look like new. But if we take a look at this Paris Saint-Germain shirt, which looks great from the outside, just apart from this crack in the sponsor, we can see that the label looks kind of washed out. There's all creases in there. So this indicates to me that this shirt has been worn quite a lot. I wore it myself as well. I washed it a few times. So you can definitely see that by this label. The labels in Nike shirts are a very good indication of the condition of a football shirt because the labels are made of paper material, something like that. But if you take a look at an Adidas shirt, the material of the labels is actually way softer and it doesn't bend as well as the material of the tags from the Nike shirts. Same goes for New Balance. I'm just checking for you guys, but this material is a bit softer. So I would just use the Nike labels as a reference because they're the best to tell whether the shirt has been worn or not. Another good indicator of the condition of a football shirt is the other side of a logo on a football shirt, especially embroidered logos. So if we take a look at this Real Madrid shirt, we can see that the inside of this logo still has some very good seams and looks very clean. This older Real Madrid shirt has some loose seams on the inside of the shirt. This might have to do with quality, but this may also have to do with the fact that the shirt has been worn more often than the Real Madrid shirt I just showed you. But just remember, in the end, a football shirt in perfect condition doesn't exist, because if you look closely enough, you will always find a minor issue on every shirt. Just keep that in mind and your life as a football shirt collector will become way easier. Alright guys, I got the impression that I've been talking quite a lot, so I think this is the perfect moment to end this video right over here. I hope the information I gave you in this video was helpful, and the more you get into football shirt collecting, the easier it is gonna be to determine and recognize football shirts in good condition or in a bad condition. By the way, we're not that far away from hitting 2K subscribers, and I definitely want to make a special video. So I was thinking about showing my signed shirts because that was something you guys wanted to see as well. But if you got any other idea, just let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you next time.